Hey everybody, welcome back to the RGR Football Channel. My name is Daniel Harms. Today is another Tuesday, so that means we're gonna have another rant for you guys now. Most of you have know that I do a lot of film work for RGR. Yes, tomorrow was supposed to be another film session. I'm not sure what it would have been about, but there would have been film dropping tomorrow from the Chiefs. But again, we have a situation where NFL Game Pass has decided, or the NFL specifically has decided to start to fix and update NFL Game Pass right now. The week before training camp opens in the NFL, they decided it was a good idea to go ahead and start the updates and hopefully the changes that we've been asking for 3+ years to Game Pass. Right now, in the dead part of the season, when all we have to do is go back and watch film from the year before, or the year before that, or the year before that, they decided it was a good idea. Of course, the NFL thought it was a good idea because they don't care about the people that are actually using it. They only care about the people that still have access to it. The ones that are like working with the NFL. They don't care about the lowly people who pay for it, but when they're going to actually be able to use it, when the best time to repair it for everyone else's use is. By the way, if we're being honest, the best time to do that is in April. It's in April, beginning of April. You want to know why? Because the draft is happening. I'm not watching NFL film when the draft's going down. I'm watching prospect tape. That's what I'm doing. I'm breaking down prospects, and I'm trying to do everything that I can to get all of the tape that I need from the college guys that are going into the draft this year so I can run down as many of them as I possibly can to be ready for the NFL draft. That'd be a prime time to go through and finish and make updates and fix some things in NFL Game Pass. It'd be an absolute perfect time to do it. It makes sense. You have less people on it. You have the attention off of, the NFL game right now. There's still people doing that, but the NFL draft's coming up. So we're all getting ready with prospects. We got our lists, we have our breakdowns, we have everything that we need getting ready for the draft. That would make sense. That's why the NFL didn't do it. They don't care about anybody. I don't know what makes it so much better to do it now, before camp opens up. Before camp. We're trying to get these players, we're trying to get, roster predictions and film on some of these guys from last year to see changes that could happen, improvements that could be made from them from last season to this season. Because we don't have anything. Even right before camp, we had nothing. Nothing. And now we still have nothing because NFL has decided to fix Game Pass, hopefully. If they don't fix it, this was all for nothing, and I'm going to be really, really upset. So, with that down, I am forced to rant about the fact that it's down. And I really can't believe that we're sitting here, July 27th, talking about why I can't watch NFL film. And it's because the NFL is stupid. Things we already knew, and we know they don't care. They don't care about us. They're getting their money. They already have their money from most of these people for the year. So why does it matter what they think? What does their schedule matter? Why does their work matter? They can suffer. They're gonna get one less film review this week, about players that people care about, like Chris Jones, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL. This RGR channel can suffer, and people that watch film, and they don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm a lowly person, even though the NFL watches these things and they keep up with what goes on RGR, because they've taken videos down when I've had to use an all-22 view that they've used in the actual broadcast, and they use that all-22. They're like, hey, guess what? You got to take that down. So they watch. They know that we do this, but they don't care. The Kansas City Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL, and they're going to make them a lot of money over the next decade plus with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. And yet, we can't just get a little bit of a little break, a little bit. I pay for the access to this all-22. I do. I pay for it, so that I can watch games, so I can watch film, so I can have the all-22, hopefully the Tuesday after the game, or the Monday after the game, depending on when it comes down, being able to break the stuff down. NFL Draft, best time to add fixes and make improvements on your NFL Game Pass, NFL. I know you're watching. I know you're watching. So come on. Listen to me. I know this is not hard to do. You just got to move the time back to the draft when people are focused on the college players. Let me watch film the week before camp opens so I can get a list of players that need to improve dramatically before next season. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Why is that so difficult? Why? That pretty simple question. I'm very, very mad about that. But I do have a surprise for you guys. Coming up one of these Thursdays, I'm going to have a surprise for you. It's all I can really let on about it because I'm not sure how it's going to unfold yet. I know that Ryan and I have done some talking about it, so we're going to get that figured out. Obviously, make sure you guys, if you're members, get in on that Discord. It's a lot of fun. You guys can just talk to me directly, especially if you're not in, like a Twitter atmosphere. You can't DM me, stuff like that. We can talk about anything you guys want to in that Discord section. It's awesome. There's a ton of places to talk, a ton of different topics to talk about. And again, like I said, me, Ryan, all of the RJR crew is there. We can all just talk and have a great time. So make sure you're getting into those memberships and getting into those Discord channels. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun keeping up with it and getting to interact with you guys. So, today... right now the Olympics are going on, and I feel like the Olympics have turned into one big, AGT type thing, America's Got Talent show. Like it's the specificity of some of these events is unreal, and I feel like I'm still of the opinion that no professionals should be in the Olympics. It should just all be amateurs. I think that's how it should be, and that's just kind of how it was supposed to be. So I'm still a little upset about that, but the fact that there are so many weird Olympic sports, it's some of it I find fascinating. I watched a triathlon the other day. It was a lot of fun. I never even actually watched one before. It was interesting, but just my wife had told me something about the specificity of some of these. Let me find this. It's so funny because right here, synchronized 10-meter platform diving. Like, what is that? What does that entail? Do you have to synchronize your? I obviously didn't watch it. All I would need to do was Google it. But still, like, I just want. It's so specific. Like, there's synchronized swimming, there's diving, but 10-meter synchronized platform diving. That's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing. It's so specific. You have to be that good at one thing like that. So that was just kind of something funny that I thought about. And the whole Simone Biles thing is really irritating me. People going at her because she withdrew from the team event. Still, the team still got silver, and she didn't want to risk losing and not letting them medal. Like I don't understand why people are attacking her over this thing. She didn't want to hurt the team. She was hurt herself. So I got no issues with what happened. We love you, Simone. You're the best athlete in the world. Don't ever forget it. Now, with camp opening up, one thing I want you guys to do in the comments section is give me a player you expect to have a big camp. That's it. Just a big camp. Like have some huge moments at camp and really kind of earn some playing time possibly in training camp. Not in preseason, in camp itself. I want to see some guys that you feel like you're going to see big plays happen from. I really want to see how that's going to unfold this year. I'm excited to see some of these guys at camp too. So I said yesterday that a surprise cut is Demarcus Robinson. I saw some people in the chat about how I'm hating. There's so much hate. Like, it's not so much about hating Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson is a fine player. He's done everything that the Chiefs have ever asked of him, except for sometimes running straight after you catch the ball. And if we're being honest, this is his 6th year in the offense. He said coming back, he wants to get 1,000 yards, okay? Love the mindset. Completely understand, getting yourself into that mindset. But there are 3 receivers on this team that I believe they want to have better seasons outside of Tyreek Hill than Demarcus Robinson. And that's Pringle, Powell, and Hardman. All 3 of them, I think they want to have better seasons because if they thought that Demarcus Robinson was going to be somebody that they could count on for years, for years, they would have given him that contract extension at the end of his contract 2 years ago, brought him back, and been a focal point of the offense. But let's be honest about that. That's not what this team does. They don't use the skill set that he has properly. That's not his fault. I have no issues with Demarcus Robinson. I'm just sick and tired of seeing the same thing over and over again on an offense that, to be honest with you, he doesn't contribute very much to. He makes some touchdowns. Yeah, everyone gets some touchdowns. I think that's a good thing for him if they were to use his skill set a little bit more. Maybe throw him some jump balls, throw him some timing on some of his back cuts, something like that. But he's a possession receiver in this offense, much like a guy like Chris Conley was. They're not specifically able to do what the offense demands of its wide receivers like Tyreek Hill, and to an extent, Byron Pringle and McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman and Pringle are different receivers. Pringle's a much better route runner than both Robinson and Hardman. But I don't hate anybody. I'll never hate anybody. And when I talk about guys like, so some of the guys that are getting older that have just been on the team a long time, and we start to see some regression in their skill set, like Dan Sorensen. We talked about this yesterday. I have no issues. I respect him so much. I respect Demarcus Robinson for what he's been able to do on this team. For the most part, I think was able to earn a lot of trust. They love him in the coaching staff. I just think it's time. That's all. It's nothing against Demarcus Robinson. I just think it's time. Much like Garrett Dieter, they just need to move on from some of these players. They're just taking up roster spots and practice squad spots for other guys that are probably more talented. That's all it is. Like, I got no hate. I just want to see growth in the wide receiver room. And I think getting Demarcus necessarily out of the picture allows Hardman, allows Pringle, and allows Powell to get more, and possibly Antonio Callaway, depending if he makes the roster, more time on the field. That's what I want to see. I want to see guys who I know have more potential to do more in this offense than a guy who I've seen the last 5 years be used for chipping, blocking, and every once in a while makes a really nice catch. And every once in a while he makes a really nice route, but he's so inconsistent. It's inconsistent. That's all it is. If you want to get that 1,000 yards, DeMarcus, this is probably going to be your last chance to remotely get close to that. Please, prove me wrong. Make this roster. Go do it. I would love it. I'd be a fan. I'd be your biggest supporter on Twitter. I promise you that much. I would do it. I would. But at the end of the day, from my point of view, he's taking up a roster spot for someone who I think could be more dynamic and bring more to the offense than what he does. I think with the revamped offensive line, you don't need to use him to chip as much. You have two tight ends that can bring a big body to chip a little bit and things like that. So you don't have to use a guy like Robinson, who they've had to in the past. And I want to see growth at the wide receiver position. And this is probably Pringle's last year too, if we're being honest. If he doesn't grow and show up in some of these games, have a couple of different 100-yard games, I think it's time that they move on from him too. I don't want to see stagnant players at the position unless they're improving and showing that they can help this offense. That's all it is. It's nothing against him. I just want to see some change. That's it. I feel like we've had the same wide receiver group outside of Watkins for the last 3-4 years. And when Watkins was on the field, he was productive. He had some good games, and he did some things that you don't forget. Like the postseason. He was incredible in the postseason. So I just want something different. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I mean, that's fine. But again, it's not about the player, like the guy. I don't have any issues with Demarcus Robinson. I know that I like him as a person. I like him as a player in terms of what he brings, but this offense doesn't use what his best skills are. That bothers me a little bit, and I'm sure it bothers him, to be quite honest with you. So that's all I have to say on that. And, it's really all I got about that. So anybody have any interest in the Madden ratings? No, I didn't think so. No one really cares about that stuff anyway. Like, really? You're going to put a guy who McCole Hardman beat in a race as a your game's already a joke. Madden's already a huge joke. And the way that you go about doing a lot of these things with ratings and not giving players their accurate, what they should be, it's kind of a joke. It's still ridiculous, and I can't believe that people still buy your game. I haven't bought Madden in probably since 2012, I think. It's been about 9 years since I've bought a Madden game. It's so bad. It's the same game over and over again, and there's nothing really fun about it anymore. I can't really say there's nothing fun about it, because I think that whenever you win a game, it can be fun, but I don't have any, like, I feel like there's nothing left for me to do. I've played the game already, and it's the same thing over and over again. So I can't wait for them to bring back NCAA, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be great, and I'm super excited to see it come back. That's one thing I'm really excited about, and I can't wait for that. But Madden sucks. It's a terrible game, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to get enough want to really buy the game again. So they got to do a better job of making it so I can want to buy it. That's enough frustrating in itself. But at the end of the day, camp is starting up. So hoping that Game Pass comes back so I can do some breakdowns of guys like Mike Dana and some of the lower level guys on the roster to really get a look at what they're going to do, like Tershawn Wharton, for example. What is he going to do this year? And Mike Dana. But again, I'm still waiting on them to fix that. There is a video that I'm going to do with a buddy of mine, Damian Parson, on Twitter. I don't know if you guys follow him. We're going to record a video about Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming up, and I'm going to drop that on Twitter. I'm going to see if we can get it in the Discord too, so everyone that's on there will have an access to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the offensive line issues last year that contributed to Clyde's struggles, and really what he's going to be able to do this year in this offense. So look forward to that. It's coming up as well. Obviously Thursday or tomorrow, Ryan's hopefully going to have his Noah Gray video. I'm assuming he's going to have that done for you guys finally. It was so hard to find film for Noah Gray because Duke's film is so, it's so sparse. There's not very much of it. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy that tomorrow. Seth will be around Thursday, and I'm going to have a little something for you guys on Thursday morning as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have anything else you guys want to see ranted about, things that frustrate you, just let me know. And also, if you're on the Discord, drop them in the Dan's Rant section. We can talk about it there too. So you guys have a great day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more, and subscribe to RGR Football.